Good evening, folks. This is Jacob Folger, artist sculptor, and tonight we're going to make this dragon who is perched on this castle turret. It's also a wall decor piece, and it holds a light at the top, a battery-powered light that changes colors, so it's kind of fun. And yeah, so we're going to do this tonight, and hope you come along and make one with me. Please give the video a like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get a notification when I upload new videos. Let's get started. Okay, so we need a flat board to work on, and it's good if it's a little bit wet. I'm going to start off with a shape like this. And you can push it down on the table to flatten it in the back. And we'll just put on the board here about center, and wetting the board will help this clay stick to it. Now this is Marblex. It's self-hardening air dry clay. I just want to push on the board. Actually, I want it a little bit higher because the bottom of it was hitting the board, the bottom board. So yeah. So yeah, like that. And then we'll take Now I'm going to take a sculpting tool and I'm going to carve out a window. Okay, we're going to roll a long rule of clay for the dragon's body. It's good to keep the clay moist and use a mister spray bottle of water to do that while you're rolling it and all that. And then we'll start to put it on the castle. Okay, let me give you a bird's eye view of that, okay? Okay, I'm going to start sculpting the face. Now I'm going to make the spade for the tail. Now I'm going to start the scales. So I roll on a piece of clay like this, bring it to a point. I want to go right up onto the spade to start off with. And I add it to the tail. And just take that off there. And then I just keep going up the tail. This is what I got so far. And notice how I did the scales kind of curving. Let's give them some life. Okay, we're going to work on the wing. I'm only going to do one wing because this is basically a relief, meaning that it's one side. Although it's quite a deep relief. So I'm going to start off with a piece like this. And it's quite wet. I got it quite wet because I don't want it. I want it to move the way I want it to. So, and I'm going to squeeze this like this, creating kind of a rib along the top. So I brought the wing over, kind of just brought it over. And one thing I'd like to note that I haven't really talked much about is if you notice everything is really kind of flowing and, you know, it's not crinkly. And it's a nice form, you know? So you should shoot for that when you're making your dragon. And yeah. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lift that wing. And I'll go ahead and score. And put it back. So it's got a nice bond. You want to make things to last, I mean. And again, you know, this is really outstanding clay. I've used it for, 30 years? And I have to say, if you're going to do something like this, you're going to make something like this, make it in something that's going to last. And this clay will definitely last. It's wonderful stuff. But you got to do it right. You know, you have to score, you have to keep it wet. You should be misting often. I wet this thing down several times, all throughout the sculpt, to keep it moist while I work on it. And if I leave it alone, I cover it in a plastic bag, you know, so it won't dry out on me. If you follow a few simple rules with this clay, you'll love it. You'll love this clay. You'll love it. Marblex, made by Amaco. Okay, I'm going to put scales on the wings. This is how I ended up doing the scales. I still have quite a bit of smoothing to do. Okay, so I'm basically finishing up now, and the next step, of course, is smoothing, which is helpful in kind of helping everything stay together. I like to leave sculpting marks in, but I also like to spend some time smoothing because, it's air dry clay, so it's a water-based clay, and water is like glue, for it. So it's beneficial for sure, and I do recommend some of it anyways. And also places like, deep in there like that, back in here, stuff like that, filling those places would be good. And so what you do is you take a little bit of clay, with a small piece of clay like this, and just stick it back there, and then just take a tool, like a ball tool or something, and just push it back in there and kind of blend it in. It's a good idea to do stuff like that because it will hold up better. It'll last longer because it's well built, And then, as far as smoothing goes, what I recommend doing is taking a paintbrush, dipping it in some water. You can wipe some of it off. You don't have to have it soaking wet. And then just drag the brush in, kind of smooth it out. And spend a little bit of time on that and filling little holes that might strengthen the piece a little bit. And a couple things I should say is if you ever have a problem with a piece breaking off, you can repair it with the hardy version of Elmer's glue. They have an extra strength version of it. And you can fix it, and then you can butter the area with that glue, and that will help keep everything strong. So if you're having problems like that, maybe the first time out you didn't do scoring like you should have, or something like that, and something happens like that, that is something you can do. And I just recommend spending some time on that, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I wanted to explain. You can take a wire like this. They have them in art supply stores, but I misplaced mine. And you can just take, like, this is just a copper wire, thin copper wire, and you can put it against the board that you're dragging it on, and just hold it against the board and drag the wire down and release the dragon from the board. So when you do that, you want to make sure that she's not really soft, really soft. She's soft, but not like really soft. I mean, she's kind of hard, but yeah. So then you want to turn it around, and you see all these like little crevices in here. You really need to smooth those in, and if they're really deep, you can fill them with clay. And then you can go along the edge and just make sure it's kind of smooth. And I did take a ball tool and added some texture to the castle part. And you can just if you mess that, if you did that or something like that, you messed it up, you can just go back and add some more to it. But go around and make sure the edge is nice and clean and smooth. And also anything that looks like you know, this separation between that toe and the rest of the clay. You can fill that in with a tool, and so it's nice and sturdy back there. And see where this is, where the spade is kind of separate here. You can fill that in. So that's a really good idea too. And you know, probably should have a little bit of clay to put in there. So you can put a little clay in if it's a deep hole, and just blend that in. And then also this clay, this Marblex, when it dries, it is really hard, almost next to impossible to drill. I've tried to drill it when it was hard, and you do need a way to hang it. So I do recommend releasing it from the board and putting a hole in the back, you know, before it dries out. And so you can take like a ball tool and measure the distance, get a ruler and measure the distance and decide what is center. And I'm just going to guess probably right about there. And then I'll just put it in a hole, and I put the tool going in at an upward angle, and you know, kind of spin it while I'm going in, spin it when I'm coming out, and it makes a hole. And then when you hang it, you can put your nail in the wall going in this direction, going downward. That way it hangs securely against the wall and flush to the wall, so it'll be flat against the wall. I know that some people make hangers, you know, wire hangers and stuff like that. The problem with that is it doesn't hang flush to the wall. I mean, it's sticking out, right? So this will have it, you know, right against the wall. So, and also, you definitely do not want to hang it until it's completely dry, because it will mess up your wall for one, and secondly, the nail might rip out and the piece might fall on the floor. I have actually experienced that myself. I made the mistake of, you know, being impatient. Oh, I want to hang it. You know, so just wait until it's completely dry before you hang it. Yeah, and that's about it. And so I'm going to stick it in the oven for a little bit and come back. Okay, so getting ready to, I guess, be done with it. I put a little twisted copper wire in her ear for an earring, and I put a bracelet on her left leg, just for fun. And now what I'm going to do is, now with the Marblex clay, it's okay to put it in the oven on a warm setting for like a half hour. I wouldn't do it for much longer than that, because I just don't think it's a good idea. But on a warm setting, and you know, half hour or so to dry the surface of the clay so we can put a finish on it. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so the dragon is dry enough for me to be able to put a finish on her. I'm going to be using Utrecht Studio Series acrylic in deep black. You can use pretty much any kind of black paint. I do recommend acrylic paint because it does dry a lot faster than other paints. And and also you want either a matte or flat black, really would be best. And yeah, so you just start painting it on. If your brush is a little wet when you put the paint on, it goes on a little bit easier. And you want to work it into all the detail, because we want to cover the whole dragon without having any of the clay showing. So you have to look at it from all directions, work it into all the nooks and crannies, and do at least 2 coats, and then we'll come back. Okay, we're back with the dragon. He's all black, she's all black. And what I'm going to be using to start off with is Golden GAC 100. It's an acrylic primer and extender, and I use it all the time. I've used it for many years. for all kinds of different things. And I'm going to use that to start by painting the dragon with pearlized pigments. I like to do my dragons purple or reflex violet. I'll also be using antique bronze and silver in today's finish. I have the GAC 100 in a lid here, and I also have the violet, reflex violet in the lid. And I'm going to get my brush a little bit wet with the GAC 100, dip it into the reflex violet, and paint her purple. Okay, the next color up is silver, and I'm going to do that on parts of the castle. So I'm going to get a little bit of the GAC 100 on my brush, but I'm also going to kind of dab it off and just make it damp. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the silver, and I'm going to dab that off a little bit because I just want to dry brush it a little bit. I just want to leave some of the black showing, you know, like that. Really light touch. And in between the blocks. The next part of the finish is to go get some antique bronze. I like to dab that off also a little bit and paint that on the blocks. And on the window. This part of the finish is going to be bronze on some of the scales and some other areas I want to highlight. I'm going to get a little bit of the GAC 100 on my brush, a little bit of bronze, and I'm going to take the side of my brush and go like this. Okay, she's finished, and now we're going to do some close-ups. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this, and it's a little bit problems with light right now because it's the end of the day and the sun is setting, and there's this is not the greatest camera. This is actually my cell phone. Anyways, so I hope that you'll try to make this, and if you do, you're welcome to send me a photo. Let me see. I'd love to see it. My email address is in the about section on my channel page, and you also can message me on Facebook, and there's a link in the video description, along with a complete tool and supply list. And yeah, so if you could, please give the video a like, share it with your friends and family, and leave me a comment or a question, and I will reply. And subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon so you can get a notification when I upload. Thank you so much for watching and coming along. Have a great day. Bye-bye.